Alright, hey guys, remember it was CCG back in the video. With this, I'm bringing you guys a Mimighoul deck profile, and this is post Infinite Forbidden. This is a new TCG exclusive archetype, and we're going to get started here with 3 copies of Mimighoul Master. Mimighoul Master is the main Mimighoul monster here that's going to enable you to flip your Mimighoul monsters that you're going to place on your opponent's side of the field. He cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, or your opponent controls any face-down monsters, so it makes it pretty difficult to get rid of this guy as long as your opponent has anything face down. Not only that, when it's normal or special summon, you can add a Mimighoul monster from your deck to your hand, so great way to just search whatever you need. And then during your opponent's main phase, you can change one face-down monster in the field to face-up attack or defense position, again enabling you to do those flip effects. And then we run 2 copies of Flourishing Hills, 1 copy of Thawing Mountains, and 2 copies of Misting Seedlings. It's just a great way of just special summoning out your Mimighoul monsters, and that's mainly the role that they're going to play here. And they allow you to do multiple special summons at a time, so it's pretty great value that you can get out of these guys. Now the thing is, they are going to lock you into Earth effects. Thankfully, it's just Earth effects, not locking you into Earth summons, so you can still go into whatever link monsters you may need to. And then, for instance, if you go into the IP Mask Arena, then during your opponent's turn, you can still use this effect. So it's not too bad. You just have to keep that in mind. 1 copy of the Guard Dog. Your opponent cannot special summon for the rest of its turn. So you can use something like our Instant Fusion, get out of the Master of Ham, set this card, and then activate Guard Dog. And it's pretty powerful. Of course, you're going to be flipping it during your opponent's turn using Mimighoul Master, and it's going to be very just annoying for them to basically not be able to play for that turn. Then we have 3 copies of Ash Blossom, just hand trap of choice, 3 copies of Mimighoul Dragon, very powerful Mimighoul monster. Not only will it wipe your opponent's entire board, but of course it'll give itself to you, and then from there you can also normal or special summon it in order to search a Mimighoul Spoiler's Trap. So a very powerful card. 2 copies of the Cerberus. It's a great extender for the deck, and just taking one of your opponent's monsters is pretty fun. 3 copies of the Mimighoul Archvane. This card is very powerful. If you flip it, the thing is, it's not extremely active like the Mimighoul Dragon here. Your opponent establishes board, and then you could just pop it whenever you think it's getting too crazy. Mimighoul Archvane, though, just provides a good amount of value. You draw a card, but they have to send a card from their hands to the grave, and in Yu-Gi-Oh, you're very limited on cards, so doing something like that while giving yourself a draw, it's very strong. And we do have Instant Fusion, as I explained, for the Master of Ham, and then 2 copies of Triple Tactics and 2 copies of the Triple Tactic Thrust. This is just because you're going to be using your opponent's going to be activating their effects, of course, because they have these flip monsters, so you can easily enable these and make them active. 1 copy of the Ghost Trick Shot. This is just a great way of just bringing back your Ghost Trick Dullahan and then going into the Angel of Mischief in order to set yourself up for the F0 play. Then 1 copy of Terraforming because the field spell is busted. 3 copies of the Mimighoul Maker. This card will not only give you another way of special summoning a Mimighoul monster out, but also potentially putting something on your opponent's side of the board and also flipping it during your opponent's turn while this card is in the grave. And then we have 3 copies of Mimighoul Dungeon. Not only is it a searcher for the deck, but it's also a weird like Mystic Mind type card, as any player who controls a face-down monster cannot normal summon nor declare an attack with monsters that were special summoned this turn. Just a very oppressive card, so you definitely want to go into it. 3 copies of Imperm, hand trap of choice, and then we have 1 copy of Destructed Dharma Karma Cannon. It's just going to be flipping a bunch of things on the board. It's a great way of just flipping the game here, and what's nice about it is that obviously if your opponent still has some things, being able to flip them once again be pretty annoying. And then we have 1 copy of Mimighoul Room. This would let you special summon a Mimighoul monster from your hand or deck, and not only that, then you can flip a card on the field back to face on the defense position. So if you want, you can flip down one of your Mimighoul monsters, but you could also just use this to disrupt your opponent's play. And then you can banish this card from your grave, then target any number of Mimighoul cards you control, return them to the hand. So that's great because if their Mimighoul effects already been used up, you can just use this card, recycle them, put them back in your hand, put them back on your opponent's side of the board, and activate their effects once again. And then Ghost Trick Knight here is just another search card for the Angel of Mischiefs, or you can use Angel of Mischiefs here to search out the Ghost Trick Knight. And while the Ghost Trick monster is on the field, your opponent cannot flip summon. So it's going to lock them into having these monsters, and they're not going to be able to choose when to activate their effects. So it's going to put them in a weird position here. And then we have 1 copy of Master Ham. Master Ham is solid just because it is a card that we can go into using Instant Fusion. And not only that, but if this card is in your grave, you can banish 2 flip monsters from your face-up field and or grave and special summon this card in face-on defense position. And then you can use the effect once again. 1 copy of Zeus, just because it's Zeus. Typhon to deal with boards, especially if you're going second here. Downward Magician, of course you have a lot of Exceed monsters. 2 copies of the Ghost Trick Angel of Mischief, a great way of searching out your Ghost Trick spells and traps. 2 copies of Dullahan just to go into that. And then we have the F-Zero package here that you can easily go into, as you're going to see in the combos video. And then we have the Fucho and the assembled Nightingale. These are just great ways of going into the zoos. SP Little Knight, of course, IP Masquerena, just great link monsters. And then the Anima, since you're running a bunch of level 1 monsters, might as well be able to take that. Side deck here are just cards that are removed, but if you want the 3rd copies, definitely gonna get to the state of being too bricky if you have that many, but you can definitely consider that. But let me know what you guys think about the deck profile, and make sure to stay tuned for the combos because this deck is pretty insane. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.